Hi and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca and it is time to do some more on my kookaburra. I did get finished off this section, but I haven't got any more done in this last week. A couple of things we've had on in the evening. However, I am aiming for this to be finished before December Waffle starts, before the December event. So there may be some progress, especially as it gets closer to the time. I'm more likely to do a bit of a G-up mad dash through them. But yeah, let's get started. Let's see how far we get. We've got quite a bit of blockiness on this section, so we might get quite a bit of multi-placing in. We'll see, but I hope everybody has had or is having a great weekend, depending on whether you class the weekend as over by the time you're watching this video. I'm actually filming this on Friday, before my weekend starts. Got a few things planned for this weekend. We're getting our boiler replaced next week, which means I need to pull all the bedding out of the airing cupboard because the boiler is going to go up there where the hot water tank was. So one of our plans this weekend is to get that sorted, get everything sorted out. He's not coming till the middle of the week, so it will actually go back in, but at least then I can just pull it out the night before he comes and know that everything is staying there. It's having its declutter session, which has been in the pipeline for quite a while. It's just not happened yet, so this is sort of forcing it, which is always good. And then the other area I need to pull out and sort is my dreaded pantry. So in our kitchen, it's not so much fit for food, so it's not a food pantry. We have a big cupboard for that, but we have a sort of under the stairs cupboard that is accessed from the kitchen. That is our pantry slash, or we call it the pantry. It is our garage, you could call it as well. It is our cleaning cupboard. It houses all sorts. So it houses things like mop buckets, steam mops, but it also holds like decorating tools and stuff. Some of our garden stuff is outside in a storage thing, but we don't have a garage as such. So this houses the screwdrivers, tape measures, irons, ironing boards, all of that stuff, and also houses the boiler at the moment. The boiler is going to move. But yeah, he needs access to that as well. So this Sunday we are doing the dreaded, but always so much better once we've done it, complete pulling out of that pantry. Pull out, sort out, and then again it will go back and we will then just be able to pull everything out the night before. But it is definitely one of those areas in our house, a bit like if I ever decide to pull everything out of my craft room, that you realise quite how much you've managed to fit in there when you pull it all out and you turn around and the kitchen has got stuff everywhere. So yeah, I hope everybody has got something more exciting than that planned for the weekend. We've definitely got something more exciting planned the weekend after. We are having my nephews for the weekend who were over from Australia. So we're having my nephews while their parents go away on a city break. They were thinking of going somewhere in Europe, but my brother's got a busy week on with work, and even for him, the thought of then trying to get on a plane and everything. So they're going for a city break instead. But yeah, we get to have my nephews for the weekend. So need to think of something fun and entertaining that we're going to do. So I'm sure we'll discuss that at some point this weekend, just to break up the monotony of sorting out all this stuff. I know I'll feel better once it's all done. And then I can recover and straighten up from having the boiler moved. But yeah, that is our weekend. I hope everybody else is having a productive and potentially more exciting weekend. But we're only doing that on Sunday. On Saturday, me and hubby are both planning on having just a day of enjoying our hobbies, pottering about. I finished sewing together and quilting a couple of quilts, not last weekend, well, a bit last weekend, bit the weekend before. So I'm planning on having a bit of a sort out. I like to make a block for every quilt that I finish. I'm hoping to get caught up on those this weekend. So maybe I'll do a mini quilt update next week. Let you guys see the quilts that I have finished, and show you my blocks that I'm doing once I've finished a quilt. Hang on, this one. Just get in one place. I don't care where you go. So yeah, maybe I'll do a mini quilt update while I am not getting through diamond painting as quickly. It seems as though I've had a couple of periods of time in the weekends recently to be able to do my hobbies, but I've not had as much time in the evenings. We were at my brother's last night for tea. We got takeaway Chinese, which was amazing. And then, yeah, so we had takeaway Chinese last night. I had another evening where I was filming in the evening. I did get diamond painting in at least one evening. But yeah, busy times. Anyway, back to comments, or on to comments, etc. I did ask this question on my Thursday WIP and Waffle, and I am going to ask it on my Sunday one as well, just in case. But I did ask those that watch the Sunday WIP and Waffle, do you watch the Thursday one as well? Or do you just watch one of them, as in this Sunday one? The reason I'm asking is at the moment I keep the comments separate. So I tend to read Sunday's comments on a Sunday and Thursday's comments on a Thursday. Because I've just changed over my big project on a Thursday, I've had a lot more comments than sometimes come in. Plus, because I'm starting a new project, I've not been able to read out as many comments in a session because I've been concentrating on stuff. So yeah, I have a lot more comments from a Thursday at the moment. And sometimes I do feel, especially when I get behind with comments, which I can do on a Sunday as well sometimes, because I'm reading for the specific day, I feel like they can get a little bit out of sync sometimes. So my thought is to just still keep reading comments and stuff on the WIP and Waffles. I absolutely love that part of the WIP and Waffles. I feel like we get to really interact and we get updates on big things that are happening in some people's lives and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, my thought is to just read the oldest comments, whether they are Thursdays or Sundays. So when I'm doing a Sunday, if I'm all up to date with comments, it may be that I'm reading ones from the Thursday as well. So it just keeps everything a little bit more up to date. But if people only watch one or other of my WIP and Waffles, it may get a bit confusing. So I just wanted to know your thoughts. Most comments that have come in from Thursdays so far, people watch them both, so they're not bothered if I read the oldest comments. But say I wanted to check across the board before I do. So I'm going to go to last Sunday's and previous Sunday's WIP and Waffle comments for now, and we'll see what the poll comes back with as to whether I just start reading the oldest. At least then I feel like people won't be missing out on their comment either. Because I am a few behind on the Thursday. Some people may feel as though it takes a while for their comment to get read out. But yeah, we're going to start on Sundays. For now, my putty keeps squeezing out of my placer. I've been using this multi-placer quite a bit. But Kim, she says Sundays for her are normally a no diamond painting day. They go to church in the morning, which is about half an hour away. They stop at the grocery store that is cheaper than the store in their town, and stop to eat lunch before going out to drag all the groceries into the house and then put them away. She says by then she is ready to sit and read her romance novel and escape for the afternoon with a bit of a nap squeezed in there. I wish I could nap. She says they only do that big grocery run about once a month. She says, but the other Sunday activities remain the same. So like going out for lunch, etc. She says, so Sundays, her only diamond painting activity, she said, is watching others do it on YouTube. She says, of course, even hubby knows, she says, that Sunday evening is saved to enjoy my time with Rebecca and the fellow Zesties. Bless you. It's nice having routines like that, though. It is nice having little routines on certain days. It's like, it can be like a mini reset. It's like, okay, I don't have to think about what I'm doing on that day. I don't have to think about squeezing in all this, that and the other. That day is reserved for this. And yeah, it is nice when you can have days like that where they just follow the same flow and you just know what to expect. You know what's happening, and you can just get up and get on with it. Basically, get up and get on with your day, which, yeah, is highly underrated, to be honest. I think sometimes days are easier if you get up and you sort of know what's happening, and you know that's what gets done on that day. Just getting some more because I have a lot of multi-placing in this colour. Which is good. This section will go a little bit faster, potentially. See how it goes. But yeah. Rachel, she says she is working on untangling a skein of yarn tonight. So that's something a little bit different. She said she started a painting from this company a few years ago. She said a pretty paled coloured horse with pink blossoms in the background. She said the drills were terrible quality. She said she thinks that 762 was one of the worst offenders. She says there was gaps and bubbles in most of them. She said so she wasn't a fan of the adhesive, and the symbols were nearly impossible to read. She says even with a light pad and a craft light directly ahead. She says once they get more unpacking done, hubby and herself will be turning the second bedroom into a crafting space for her diamond painting and yarn storage, and his plastic models and 3D printers. Love it. Craft room is always a good thing. Mine at the moment is very small. If and when the kids get a place of their own, I am sure that I will be able to extend my space into one of the bedrooms maybe. That'll be a fun time. I love organising a new sort of space to have a different purpose. But for now, I am enjoying just having them all at home. Daroots says, hello everyone. Said they can agree with the deep clean. They said their guests just left after staying with them for a month. So as they left, the first thing they did was a deep clean of the room and the bathroom they were using, washing all the bedding, etc. She says she's very picky about being tidy, so it's been a relief that she no longer has to keep cleaning up after multiple people, which I can imagine. It can definitely get sometimes quite a bit overwhelming. I've had a really good week this week. I gave the conservatory a deep clean earlier on in the week, which I probably mentioned on the Thursday WIP and Waffle. And then I've done a mixture of shop stuff that needed doing, getting things organised there and ticked off the list, as well as getting the rest of the house straightened over the last couple of days. So I've been doing some YouTube, some stock preparation, and some household blitzing. I'm still behind on my washing, which the main problem with that is getting it dry. We do have a combination washer dryer. However, because it is a combination washer dryer rather than a standalone dryer, it takes even longer to do clothes, to dry clothes. So it ends up sort of not being worth it, unless I just decide to do like the underwear or something. So Catherine came home with washing the other week. She was like, she's going to bring her washing home. So I'm like, well, if you're bringing your washing home, bring your maiden home. Because we're still trying to catch up on washing in this house. And then when she went back last weekend, we didn't allow her to take her maiden with her. So at the moment we have a maiden in most rooms in the house, just trying to get on top of stuff. But it's not quite the weather to have the heating on all the time. It's not cold enough to have the heating on all the time. So it's that in-between stage where clothes just take longer to dry. We have got a dehumidifier, which can definitely help. But yeah, it's not like I can keep popping clothes on radiators and cycling them through the radiator and get them dry that way, because it's just not quite cold enough to have them on all the time. So yeah, still behind on washing, but getting there with everything else. And at least if everything else is tidy, I feel like the only thing I have to concentrate on now is the washing, which is fine. So yeah, we're getting there. But a deep clean is definitely good. I loved my deep clean at the conservatory the other day. It just feels so much better in there. Bev says she did the 12 days of Spookmas by Diamond Art Studio. She said, and she enjoyed it so much. She says it didn't take her as long as the Christmas one, as she did have a system. She pulled all the colours she needed for the chart that she was working on and put them in trays so that she wasn't wasting time changing drills the entire time. Hang on, I managed to pick up one too many diamonds for that one. It only took her 13 days to do, but she was doing a bit any chance she could. She said she is sure that Megan will love doing hers. I am sure she will too. She is not at the point yet where she can do it. She wants to finish A King's Path, which has been going on for quite a while, should we say. It's an ongoing project for quite a while. But this weekend she is currently looking after, well, what would be my great nephew? Still sort of call him nephew. Her second cousin. Yeah, she's looking after him this weekend. So she's got a busy weekend this weekend, and then yeah, she might be coming with us to help us look after my nephews next weekend. And she's had a busy week this week with all sorts of various different things. I think she's also got a job interview next week, so we'll see if it gets back on her radar to sort out. Inga, she says, hi Rebecca. She says they have to pick their orders up at the postal office. She says, or the postal cupboard. She says, sorry, no idea how to call it in English. That's fine, I get it. She says, but it's a big metal box with doors, and you get a text with a code. Oh, I think they call those like lockers, postal lockers over here. She says very rarely, she says, anything gets delivered to home from the post. She says other companies do it more frequently, but those closets, she says, have become a staple for everyone. She says there are like 5 different company cupboards outside the local supermarket now. She said about an unusual delivery. She said she once got a call from a neighbouring post office inquiring as to why she had redirected her post from her postal location to theirs. She said, of course, she did no such thing. And they asked if she would come and pick it up, or if they needed to send it back to her post office and wait a couple more days. She said she ended up going to pick it up herself and had a laugh with the employee about the situation. She said someone or something doing a silly mistake. Yes, possibly someone, possibly a computer glitch. But yeah, these things like to just throw a spanner in the works every now and then, do they not? Just to confuse matters. and send your jolly post on a little holiday. Not always a desired holiday, but a holiday nonetheless. Just making sure I'm scrolling past all the Thursday comments to get to the Sunday ones. There we go. Anika, she said, hi Rebecca and Zesties. She says her mum gave her a sign to put inside the door that says, yes, it's messy, but we actually live here. It's not a museum. Yes, that is ever so true. Ever so true, especially in our house. Though at the moment, as I say, it's looking pretty good at the moment. How long that will last, time will tell. But for now, it's looking good. Dimitri says, hey, Rebecca and Zesties. Thank you so much, they said, for the beautiful painting. They always love me corresponding with the comments, and they think I'm the only one to do that. Well, that's good. I think everybody should be heard that's on YouTube, and it's nice to, you know, be able to discuss back rather than just typing stuff back in the comments and just answering questions. I love doing it. I love doing my WIP and waffles because I just get to chat to you all about all sorts of random different things. So they've started their new painting of a butterfly, which is 70 centimetres by 50 centimetres long. That's a decent size one. They're always single placing everything, and they love it so much. They said thank you and big hugs and shalom. Yes, I used to single place a lot. I do find I can get through things a bit quicker. Now I multi-place, which I prefer on some paintings over others. It helps that my Thursday project I single place, like pretty much exclusively. But when I have a painting where, you know, maybe the diamonds or the canvas isn't as nice a quality as some others, and it can even vary within companies. So it's not just one company's canvas over another. Each company can sometimes have a painting that's a little bit nicer than another one. Yeah, I find it's really handy. Oh, missed two. I knew I'd end up missing some. Yeah, it can be handy sometimes to be able to multi-place your way through one that's not as nice, but you know that the finished image is going to be as good. Because this one isn't probably as nice as it could be, but it's not horrid, and when you step back from the picture it looks nice. So this is one of the ones that I actually quite enjoy, being able to multi-place through some sections of it, and still get to enjoy the image at the end. This is actually the one with, this is the colour with so many bubbles. I'm actually struggling to find sections of diamonds I can pick up to multi-place because of the bubbles. But hopefully we'll have enough by the end of it. We shall see. I'm going to see how many I can get away with multi-placing before I have to go to single. Oh, helps if the one in the middle comes off. Where did I see a 2? There it is. Because some of them I can get hold of a 2 for multi-placing, but I can't get hold of 3. Oh, got a 2. Okay, I think I need to go to single placing now. There is a little bit of multi-placing there, We'll see if I can find some more after. But I'm going to go to single placing for a while because there is so many holes in some of these. Some of them I don't mind if they just have one tiny little hole. You can't tell once it's on the canvas. But some of them are absolutely ginormous. It's like they're pretending to be the moon because they have craters in them. Blossom Chops. She says she is sitting there quietly giggling because she put a load of washing on before she started working on a section of the Diamond Art Studio painting of a mouse in a house, she says, for their Purple November event. Is it still there? I put a load on earlier, and before I came to do this WIP and Waffle, I was like, oh, I'll make myself a brew and I'll have a brew before I do the WIP and Waffle because I've got a load in the machine that's very nearly finished. And then I like to put mine on an extra spin. So my quick wash won't do the highest spin level that my washing machine does. And I'm not waiting 3 hours for a washer load to finish. Not in this house. So I decided I'd make a brew, and then I could, once the washer had finished, I could put it on a spin, which I can do on its own at the higher level, which gets the washing as dry as it can before I have to put it on a maiden. And that'll take 10 minutes, and then I can put another load on while I'm doing this WIP and Waffle. Well, I only forgot to put the washer on a spin when it did finish. I'm guessing I was doing something when it beeped because I didn't hear it beep. And yeah, I completely forgot about the fact that the washer was on. So I came downstairs after having a wee before going to do this WIP and Waffle and realised that the washer hadn't been put on a spin. So yeah, it's had a spin while I've been doing this WIP and Waffle, and I will just take it out when I've finished instead, and then put another load on and hopefully remember about the next load. Sometimes it lasts a full day before I end up remembering that I put washing on, which probably doesn't help my washing situation, but hey ho, that is my life. So if anybody else has a load of washing currently in the machine, not actually doing anything, and has been forgotten, maybe now is your time to go and rectify that, maybe put that right. Darcy, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, while this WIP and Chat is going, she says she hasn't worked on her painting. She said night before last, she realised that she put a bunch of drills on the wrong symbol. And she decided to walk away for a day or two. Tedious work, she says, removing the colour, which I can imagine it is. Even just some of these drills that have dropped in the wrong place has been so tedious to try and move them. But trying to take them off fully is even worse. She says at least she can see the colour because it's a bright orange. We always take the positives. We'll take that positive and run with it a little bit. She says she just has to grin and bear it so she can finish her pumpkin dragon. You need to reward yourself with something nice once they are all pulled off, ready to be put back on correctly. Maybe a chocolate bar or your favourite drink, or yeah, something like that. You need to reward yourself with something once the tedious, annoying part is completed, and then try your best to put it out of your mind and go back to just enjoying doing the painting. If you can. It's always easier said than done. easier said by somebody else than actually being done in practice, because it is so frustrating when something like that happens, and we beat ourselves up over it so much, and nobody else would beat us up in the same way as we do to ourselves. Inga, she says, hi Rebecca and Zesties. She says she is sure that we all have that each of us has a chore that we despise / dread doing. She says hers is definitely washing or mopping the floors. She said sweeping is fine. She doesn't mind sweeping, but she did enough mopping in her lifetime in her childhood. She said so every day after school the floor had to be swept and mopped. She says for some reason her older brother never had to do that chore. She says now, the Roomba is her best friend, and she mops twice a month, she says, but she even thinks that is too often. She says, and if somebody thinks that is not enough, she says they are welcome to contribute, she says, though they never do. Yes, mopping is one of my probably least done tasks. It's something that potentially should be done on my floors a lot more than it is. I will openly admit to that one. My kitchen floor tiles are black, so they do hide a multitude of sins, which really helps in my procrastination with mopping the floor. I have found a couple of things that help me. It doesn't necessarily work for everybody, but one is my bathroom floor is also black. They're not full-on tiles. They are they're not a laminate either, and it's not lino, but they're like separate individual tiles, stuff that is similar to lino. They too are black, so again they hide a multitude of sins. But what I found with those is I have one of the flash quick mops, you know, where you put those sheets on the bottom of it to mop. Now they work for my bathroom. I also use them to wash down walls if I want to wash down a wall in the house, but I primarily now use that for my bathroom, because the sheet will stay wet enough to do the whole bathroom. And I find I don't mind doing that the same way. I don't want to fill a mop and bucket with water and then drag it all the way upstairs. So I grab my quick mop, put a sheet on, go upstairs, give the bathroom a quick once over, and done. Whereas if I was filling up the mop bucket, I'd probably feel like I'd have to do every floor in the house that needed mopping while I got the mop bucket out. So this quick mop means that my bathroom now does get mopped every time I clean the bathroom, or every time it gets, you know, the full-on bath gets a deeper clean rather than just a quick once over of the sides, you know, that you have to do just to keep it alive with a house full of people. Yeah, I find that I now mop my bathroom floor a lot more than I ever did, probably as much as I should, because I am just using that mop and I'm just using the one room, and yeah, that I find has worked for me. The other thing that I have recently acquired, very recently acquired, and my floors have probably been mopped more in a week than they have in a month or even 2 months, is a steam mop. So I picked up a steam mop that it's also a steamer on its own. So it fits into the handle for it to be the full mop, or you can actually take it out to then like steam clean tiles and things, or windows. Yeah, I've recently acquired one of those, and I found that I don't mind mopping with that either. It dries quicker. I feel like it gives the floor a good going over. I actually went over the whole conservatory floor when I did my deep clean. I pulled out the couch and everything, and did it just on setting 1 because it's engineered wood in the conservatory. So just setting 1, not too much water, too much steam for that type of floor. But then I'll put it on setting 3 for the kitchen floor because it's tiles. And I found I actually quite enjoy mopping with that at the moment. It might change, but I think the whole getting out a mop bucket and filling the mop bucket, probably because my mop bucket's in my TARDIS of a pantry as well, doesn't help. I can get it out fairly easy, but it's not quite easy enough to not be a mission, where I can actually grab my steam mop really quite easily. So yeah, maybe have a look at steam mops, especially if you can get one that does the 2. So, you know, it does great for the floors, but I can also just use it for general cleaning of tiles and things like that. So it's got a dual purpose. But yeah, I'm with you on mopping floors. I don't like it. I don't do it anywhere near as much as I should. But I also don't eat off the floors. So I class that as, it's not a bad thing. I've not got babies crawling about either. Grey Legrand, she says she is hitting pause. She says as she sits here, she is putting together the Lego set up. She said it's so colourful and cute. That is a sweet one. Caris has actually done that one. That one's actually on the shelf in my bedroom because she hasn't got enough room in hers. But it is a cute little set. She says tidy house. She says she's not tidy. She says but she aims to get that way. She says tidy house, tidy mind, which is true, which I think is why I focused, you know, while still doing some work. So I feel as though I've done some work. I have more concentrated on the house this week since I've got some energy levels back, because it makes me be so much more productive in all areas if the house is straight. She says, so she scheduled a week of vacation time to stay at home and focus on the house. She says moving some furniture and painting some spots. That's the next thing that might hit me. We'll see how it goes once I've got through my sort of mini mental list of things that I want to get, you know, completely straightened up, like pulling out this pantry that we're doing this weekend. But I can imagine painting will follow, especially once the boiler's moved. I reckon I'll be painting the pantry and stuff, probably just in whatever basic paint we happen to have about. There won't be anything fancy in there, but once I start painting, I get the bug. I did actually wash the walls in the conservatory, or some of the walls in the conservatory, when I pulled everything out the other day with my trusty quick flash mop. It's great. I get the lemon ones and the whole wall smelt of lemon for ages. But yeah, I am, what was I saying? Yeah, I did notice that it needed painting. I don't have any of the paint left that I've already done. So I think my brain keeps thinking through of a potential colour change in the conservatory. So we'll see if that bug takes me. But she says she's cleaning the deck and potting some violas. She says sometimes she starts with the little things, like no dishes in the sink. She says they must immediately go in the dishwasher. Yes, I very much love having a dishwasher now, just for the dishes to go straight in. And most people in the house put it straight in. Occasionally, I have, especially after tea's been cooked, clean up. Megan cooks tea, I do clean up. Me or Caris do clean up. But yeah, I do enjoy having a nice tidy side and all dishes in the dishwasher. She says, but instead of cleaning tonight, she says she's watching YouTube and playing Lego. She says, P.S. their time changed overnight. She says, fall back. She said it's soon to be dark. Yes, our clocks changed the week before yours. Oh, so entertaining trying to get the YouTube video for last Sunday up, because for that one day only the day that our clocks changed, for some reason I could not select that I was in the time zone of GMT. It could only give me like GMT +1 or GMT +2. I could not pick the GMT time on that physical Sunday. Whether it's because, you know, the clocks change at 2 o'clock in the morning, YouTube had a problem with it, or not. Because normally the time zone updates for me, so I just choose 4 o'clock. And I happened to notice that when I chose 4 o'clock, it actually did it at 3 o'clock. So yeah, it wouldn't let me change the time. So even though my video went up at 4 o'clock GMT, I actually had to set it to go up at 5 to make it work. Fun. But I really don't like the dark nights. I really don't. It does not make me want to do anything. So say this last week's been a bit better, and I'm happy doing things around the house. And I've done a video or two in the evening rather than doing them during the day, so that I could get more bits done during the day in the mini blitz that I've been doing. But yeah, I don't like going out in the evening, that's for sure. So I do find now that when, like last week when I went to get my nails done, hubby then ended up meeting me in town, and we got a few bits done before it got dark, and it was like, no, home time. So now I'm trying to fit in any errands I need to do. Instead of doing them potentially in an evening, I'm trying to fit them into a weekend, because I just don't want to go out when it's dark. I just like staying at home. That's the only thing. I can't wait until the days change too. Till it starts getting lighter again. That's why I love spring. It's just my favourite time. The days start getting longer, the nights, the evenings get longer. Oh, I feel like I've gained a few hours in the day. I absolutely love it. Stephanie says happy birthday to Megan. She says she celebrated this weekend too, and I hope you had an amazing birthday. We've had nothing but fireworks go off for the past 3 weeks, I think, ever since sort of the weekend before Halloween, because Halloween sort of fell midweek some point this year. It's given people an excuse to set off fireworks the weekend before Halloween, the weekend after Halloween, and then of course we in the UK had bonfire night on was it last Friday, on the 5th? I can't remember what day it was. So that also involved fireworks going off. I'm so glad that Luna is not bothered by fireworks. That is one thing I am ever so grateful for every time they go off. because I don't think I could be coping with that. Not the amount we have them. Grey Legrand, she says she's hitting pause again. She says, Rebecca, she says, you are my dear Abby. She says the supernova flash, she says, has subsided. Maybe February. She says her diamond painting dance card is full. She says she's now feeling the holiday rush as it is November the 3rd. She says, thank you. That is the only thing. I mean, I love kitting up. I've got an unboxing coming up. I'm not sure when, unless it was, is it due today or is it next week? I can't remember. I've actually filmed it. It is actually due up tonight. So by the time this video goes out, you guys will have seen it anyway. The unboxing of Floral Surprise, which is another chart to art kit from Diamond Art Studio. I am itching to do that one. It's one that it's just different, and that's why I get excited about it. It's just different and it's fun. So Megan might be doing 12 Days of Spookmas, but I'm doing the Floral Surprise. I've not kitted it up yet, but I do have it in my YouTube schedule to kit up, because it's one that, because it is a surprise, I can't be doing like videos on it all the time. It can't be like my Sunday WIP and Waffle painting, because it's not fair to spoil the surprise for others that may have it and hasn't done it yet. So in my typical fashion of how can I make this work and how can I make this work ASAP, I've decided that I am going to kit up Floral Surprise before the December event starts, and I'm going to work on that one as my background one. So that's another reason I want this finished before the AMZ event starts. So I want to finish this one, and then we'll go into the AMZ event, which I'll be doing a daily WIP and Waffle on. But I will kit up Floral Surprise. I think I've not put it down in my schedule till like the week before December starts, and I will work on that one in the background, because then it's not one that, you know, you need to get caught up on stuff. I can work on that throughout the month of December, possibly longer, but hopefully I'll get some done throughout December with having a few more days of not working. I'm not going to quilt every time, I'll be diamond painting as well. Having a few more relaxing days. So yeah, I'm hoping to kit that up and do that throughout December, and then come January, once the event's finished, I'll start up and kit up a new painting to take us into the new year, and of course keep working on my Heaven and Earth design each Thursday. And if I happen to finish Floral Surprise, then I will move on to working on some of my Heaven and Earth design, or some of my Paint Gem minis, or whatever, if I have the time, of course. We shall see how that goes. Okay, they use something different for the adhesive from this company, and if you put the diamond in the wrong place, sliding it into the right place is not an easy task, and that's why I've been using this pen as well. I need to replace the glue dots in my pen, and I think the glue dots, I'm not sure if Megan's still got them. Oh, they might be in my drawer. But I've been using this pen for single placing because the glue dot's perfect. It's at that sweet spot. Okay, Kim, she says she believes it's time, she says, to ask my family, she says, if their clothes stink. She says, except for underclothes, she said clothes need to be worn more than one time. She says to keep up with that chore in your house. To be fair, they do. They do wear them more than once. Depending, like if some of them are in the office, then they might alternate between a few different outfits over the course of a couple of weeks. But then, of course, it all ends up back in the wash at once. If they're at home, they'll definitely wear the same outfit for a couple of days, of course, apart from undergarments. There's just so many of us, and I just, every now and then, recently I've had a full week where I've not done any washing. So that is my problem. If I'd have done a load of washing every single day, and a couple on occasion when needed, I would be on top of it. But I'm not. And that is because sometimes it can go a full 5 days and I realise I've not put any washing on at all. But no, they are really good at making, you know, it's not like they are putting clothes in the wash that they have only worn once. They're not doing that to me, bless them. Yeah, it's definitely my bad. If I just did a load a day from an empty basket, I would be all right. I've just not done. Hang on, let me change my colour. Right, I'm going to go for getting this little one done. It's got a load of multi-placing as well. She says she had all of the laundry done, she says, this past week, apart from towels. She said she was telling hubby that that was all she needed to do. And he dared to say, I can bring my work clothes from the garage for you to do. Yeah, bless him, giving him a knock round the head. She says she looked at him like he was a crazy person and said, I already did a load of work clothes this week. And she said she guesses that he was actually dumb enough to think that she was actually looking for washing to do. Like, it is very, very rare, if ever, that I look for washing to do. There is only a unique set of circumstances that will mean that I will go and look for washing to do. For things that might not get washed as often or might need a spruce up, like curtains and things. One, it's not this time of year at all, for a start. You are talking spring or summer, when all the washing is done, so I am on top of all the general washing. I potentially have half a load, maybe, or a couple of items of clothes that would be, you know, kind of nice to get done. And I have the ability to get it dry and put away all in one swoop. So basically it needs to be a nice breezy spring day, and I may go looking for something that can go out on the line and get some of those bigger and bulkier things done. But that can be rare. So I don't know why on earth he thought that you could be actually wanting washing to do. She says, oh no, she says, I have more fun things to do. Sounds like it. Sounds like he's a peach. And to be fair, last weekend when I was out getting my nails done in the morning, hubby did quite a few loads of washing. So he does tend to notice. There has been a couple of times when he's done it when I've not got any washing done through the week or completely forgot about the fact that washing actually needs doing. He has actually been really good sometimes, especially if I'm on a busy weekend or maybe I've been out for a sew day. He will he will put a load of washing on and get it done. Quite often because he's run out of work clothes. Or he's like, have I got any work pants clean? And the answer is no, so he'll put some on, but he won't just put on his work clothes and that's it. He will put on then a load more. It's that just makes him notice that I've not held up my end of the bargain for the week, and he will step up, which is good. So yeah, but this week I'm doing okay at trying to keep on top of things. DeRoots says they agree with me about the new kit feeling dying out when you switch between multiple kits, and then they get chaotic, which is true. The new kit feeling can be absolutely fantastic, but if you do have too many, the chaos follows. And I've had it before. I think maybe it was after June Waffle. I know I had a period where it was like, right, I need to sort of get some of these kits done and finished and boxed off before I pick up any more. Okay, I am struggling. Here we go. I'll be back on single placing in a minute. I think I'll be glad when I am. Sometimes multi-placing works great, and some of these diamonds, they just don't quite line up the same. So she said she's had Randall Spangler's Universe in a jar, kitted up and pushed to the side, and then taken up a completely different kit. And the monotone stone colours in the background don't motivate them to pick it back up, which can be the thing as well, especially if you stop at a space where it's, you know, it's not the exciting time of the picture. Picking it back up can be so hard. That's when you sort of have to set yourself okay, I need to do, you know, a set amount of this picture, a cover paper sheet size, or I have to do this painting for 15 minutes before I can move on to my other one. You sort of have to start setting yourself goals to finish, just to try and get yourself past that point and bring the excitement back for a painting. So the past few weeks, Diamond Art Club have come out with a lot of kits, which is tempting, but safe to say the mindful buy is going well, and they've not got anything new. Yeah, I tend to, when the email comes through, I tend to do a very, very quick scan, like literally just scroll down and then delete. And if nothing has caught my eye in that scroll, then it's not happening. And it's worked really well. It's worked really, really well for me. And even if something's caught my eye, doesn't necessarily then mean I've picked it up. Because at the moment my kits are still growing and I'm still trying to be mindful. Dreamer Designs is partly at fault. Diamond Art Studio is very much at fault. It's a good job, I love them. It said they may regret missing out on a few over the next few months, but they have to be mindful of spending since they decided to buy a one-bedroom startup flat. Said it is funny how things work out. When you're looking for a while and don't see anything within budget, then all of a sudden they got a call from the agent for an off-the-market sale. Well, sometimes fate does step in to make things happen that potentially need to happen. And yeah, I hope everything goes as well and exciting as you want it to. Carrie, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, thank you for a wonderful WIP and Waffle. Oh, she started having severe pain in her foot that she had surgery on in July. She emailed the surgeon and was able to get an appointment with him in a little over a week. She just hopes that there's nothing seriously wrong. She says, fingers crossed it settles down because it hurts a lot. Fingers are well and truly crossed over here for you, because, you know, things were finally getting better. She's ordered 2 diamond paintings to do for her niece and nephew over Christmas. One is a Rottweiler for a nephew, and the other one is a golden retriever for her niece. They are the dogs that they own. So she's been wanting to do diamond paintings for them. She says she hopes everyone has a wonderful week. Well, I hope you do too, and that your foot has got better, or the surgeon, you know, tells you something that is a quick fix and reassuring, and that things are going to be a-okay, because that is exactly what you want, for sure. Right, I am going to have to leave it at that colour. I do have more questions, more comments from last week's WIP and Waffle, but I have had a couple more orders that have come in that I do need to go and pack. So I have a few colours to do. I'm going to get that done later on this evening, and get that boxed off, and then hopefully get some more done over this next week, but we shall see how that goes. Just put that one back in that popped out. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.